Fellow beasts, how are you all doing? This is Kid Chaos here. I thought I would do a quick Blender tutorial for you all in the form of a video just to give you guys this resource to check back and utilize as you need fit. This is primarily to help you guys in terms of customizing your beast and just getting started with sort of placing it in different scenes and making some slight alterations to it as you would like. So for this, you're going to need two resources mainly. The first one, which I'll share in Discord or Twitter, which is this AKCB camera lighting blender file. And then the second file you'll need is you should go to akidcallbeast.com to the hub and then download your GLB file, which is the 3D file of your beast. Obviously, you need to connect to your wallet, and then you'll be able to download this. So these are the two that you'll need. This third one is separate. It's an example I'll show you later on for how to include your beast in a pre-rendered 3D environment. So to begin, let's open up this AKCB camera lighting file. This is the first thing you'll see. I'm sure a lot of you do not have too much experience with Blender. Do not worry, it's a lot to take in at first, but once you start getting the hang of it, it just becomes routine, and I think it's just the initial few stages. So I'm here to help you out with that. So first out, you'll see this AKCB. This is actually, if I move my camera, we're going to see a few things. So first off, if I zoom out, this is what's called a seamless. It's like basically a long string of paper meant so that there's no hard corners. And this AKCB, if I click on it, you'll see this orange highlight around it. This is just to tell you that it's selected. You can also see this. So this main screen right here is called the viewport. It's where everything will kind of lie in terms of actual objects or your scene. On the right side here, we have where all the objects are located. So you'll have your lighting, the background, cameras, and then this AKCB type, which is actually a placeholder for where your beast will stand. So to start off, I'll show you one thing. For rendering anything in Blender, go up here to the top left where render is, and then click render image. If you do that, this screen will pop up and Blender will start to render whatever you have in your viewport. And it takes a few seconds, and it might look a little grainy at first, and then it'll eventually become clear. So let's, to start, delete this AKCB because we don't really need it. To delete an object, click X on your keyboard. It'll say OK, question mark, and then just hit enter, delete. Great, so now our scene is empty. From here, we're going to go to File, Import. You can have a few different options in terms of what to import, in terms of file types. We want to go all the way down to the bottom and then go up a little bit to this GLTF 2.0, parentheses GLB/GLTF. So this one, GLTF 2.0, click, and then it's going to ask you what you want to put in. From here, you can grab, if your GLB file of your beast is on your desktop, you can just click it, or if you want, you can go to your Finder and just drag it in. You know, if I go to my desktop and I find my GLB, I can just drop it in there. And then I click Import GLTF 2.0, and there's my guy. There's my beast, and so all the beasts have all their textures, all their materials, the eyelid tattoos, the material of the clothing. It's already all built into your GLB file, which is great. And you'll notice that on the right side, once I imported my beast, I have all these different objects. What these are basically like the parts of the beast. So on this, I have a backpack, hoodie. Keep in mind, this will all be different depending on what your beast, if it has something in its hand, if it's what clothes it's wearing, whatever. So don't freak out if you see something here that is not on your beast. Every single one is different. If I wanted to, say, remove my hoodie, I could drop down this backpack hoodie, and then I have three components. I have the hoodie itself, I have these strings here, and then I have some more strings here. If I want to remove my hoodie, I just click on it, and you see this little eye. I can just click on the eye, and boom, it's gone. And I can do the same thing for this first set of strings, remove, and these last strings, remove. Now here's something interesting. So our beast is here. We removed like one article of clothing, and we have it against this white seamless. What happens if we render it? Well, if we go to render image, Now that's interesting. The hoodie is still there. Why is the hoodie still there if we removed it in the viewport? Well, the reason is we didn't delete it or we didn't like move it out of the render. We just hid it by, clicking this eye. If we want to remove it from the render, we want to go to this little camera on the far right of the object. And if we click that for all the hoodie and the strings, now if we render it, now it's showing up that it's gone. So keep in mind, when you turn on or off the eye, you're kind of hiding it momentarily in the viewport, but if you want to remove it completely in the render, you want to click on that camera on the far right of the object. Cool. So next up, let's change more about our beast. Let's change maybe some color of clothing. So if I wanted to change, let's say, the color of my beast's pants, I could click on the pants or I could click on it here. That doesn't matter. You keep in mind, you can always select an object by either clicking it on the viewport or you could click on it in this object panel. So if I click on pants, and then if you look at the left side of your screen, you're gonna have this area here, which is like the nodes area. This is a little complicated, but just bear with me. You're gonna see this panel in green called Principled BSDF. This is where we can change the color of the clothing as well as certain textures. If I want to change the base color, I just click on that color and it's going to give me a color wheel. And if I wanted to say, let's make a pair of jeans, well, I want to make it blue, so I'm making it like a light blue. And you'll see as I'm changing here, the color on my beast pants is changing in the viewport. So make it bright red, bright green, bright blue, whatever. For jeans, I'm going to make it a light navy right around there. And if I want, I could, on the right side here, I can change the light or dark values by scrolling down. I want it darker, or I want it up, I want it lighter. So change that how you feel. Maybe make it a little darker. Click out. Here, we're not gonna go into all of the details in terms of what you can do with textures, but if I wanted to, for some reason, make my pants metallic, I could click and hold on the metallic and then drag it to the right and boom, you might see it's very subtle, but my pants are gradually becoming more and more shiny. You can do that with any article of clothing, and like I said, we won't go into all of these the parameters, but for something simple you can change the color and you could change like the metallic or the specular. Specular means how much light it's reflecting. So if I wanted to make it a really dull color that's not going to reflect a lot of light, I would click and drag it all the way to the left. Or if I wanted to make it really shiny, I could drag it all the way to the right. Cool. Next up, so I changed the color of the pants. Next up, let's say I want to change the color of the gloves. I'll click on the gloves, go back to that same area, we're under Principled BSDF, click on the color, and let's say I want to make it black. I'll just drag that lightness down and boom, make it black. That's it. And like if I want, I could make it more metallic, so I'll drag that to the right for whatever reason. Cool. Next up, I'm going to change the shoes. My beast has shoes. I don't know if you guys have these pair of sneakers or what, but same principles really. You click on you'll notice actually on my sneakers, I drop it down and I have it split up from the cylinders, like the ringlets on the laces, to the laces themselves, to the upper part of the shoe, to the socks, and then the sole. So be careful what you're changing. You might think, oh, I'm changing like the whole shoe. No, you might be changing just a component of it. So if I want to change just the top part of the shoe, right here, I can go, drop it down, click on the mesh, click on off-white socks, I think, and then change the base color. I want to make it black. Boom. Done. Is it pretty cool? And taking a little inspiration from like the Jordan 11 Brett Concords, I think is what they're called. If I want to change the sole, drag this down, make it red, and make it a little darker. Boom, we have a nice pair of like Jordan 11 kind of things going on. Nice. You can change the socks if you want to as well. And then last thing, let's say I want to change the hat. I think it's split up into two objects, so I click on one part of the hat and then shift click on another. That selects both of them. Actually, I'll do one at a time. Or no, I'll do both. So click on both parts of the beanie. Go to my beanie where this red circle is, and then once that's selected, go to the left, Change that color, and let's say I want to make it a gray. There we go. So cool, we changed the color of the hats, the pants, and the shoes, and the gloves, and we also removed that hoodie. So let's see what it looks like now. So I'm gonna go to render, render image, and boom, all the changes we made are reflected in the actual render itself. And when you're rendering, if you're curious, how long it's going to take, you'll look here and you see remaining, and it has a few numbers. It's saying 31 seconds left. So it's going to take for this about a minute to render. Other scenes, more objects, more material, it's going to take longer. But for this, it should be pretty quick. Cool. And then the last thing I'll show you is, so there's 3 cameras in this file. Camera main. If you drop it down and then see this, like one camera here and one camera there, same camera. If it's selected, it means that's the active camera. This camera is the one that's showing the full body. But if you want to move to the camera where it's the close-up, full frontal, like the full front PFP, just go to Mail, click on that Cam PFP, click on the green camera, then go to Render, Render Image, and boom, we got the close-up. So you can make your own beast. I mean, or you could take your beast and change it up and kind of personalize it if you want. Do whatever. I mean, in this case, we're just changing the color. But as you progress with Blender, you can add new objects, add new articles of clothing, and make it your own. Nice. So that's good. And then I think that's about it. I think for a beginner's intro to Blender and to help you guys customize your beast, this is a good place to start. And then once you guys feel comfortable with it, check back in with me, and I'm happy to do another 15-minute how to add your beast to a pre-rendered scene and change. And we'll go over changing lighting and all that cool stuff. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or Discord. This is Kid Chaos, and thanks guys for watching. Hope that helped.